Hello friends, welcome back. Today we're going to use Array.map to dynamically render elements. Conditional rendering is useful, but you may need your components to render an unknown number of elements. Often in reactive programming, a programmer has no way to know what the state of an application is until runtime, because so much depends on a user's interaction with that program. Programmers need to write their code to correctly handle that unknown state ahead of time. So using Array.map in React illustrates this concept. For example, you create a simple to-do list app. As the programmer, you have no way of knowing how many items a user might have on their list. You need to set up your component to dynamically render the correct number of list elements long before someone using the program decides that today is laundry day. The code editor has most of the to-do list components set up. Some of this code should look familiar if you have completed controlled form challenge. You'll notice a text area and a button, along with a couple of methods that track their states, but nothing is rendered to the page yet. So we have a to-do list component. Looks like that's the whole basic app. This is just it's styling for the probably the input. Let's stretch this out so it's easier to read. And so yeah, in here so state is not set, which is probably why there's nothing rendering over here. We are binding handle submit and handle change. So here we have handle change, and here we have handle submit, handle change. And then we're rendering a constant. We'll obviously be changing something with items. And so yeah, we have a text area. This is the text area. This is the broken line, so that just means to go to the next line. And then a on click and a button that says create list, and then my to-do list. Text area button. Inside the constructor, create a this.state object and define two states. User input should be initialized as an empty string, and to-do list should be initialized as an empty array. Okay, cool. So up here, this is where we initialize state. So we go this.state, and we always initialize state as an object. Oh, look, it's rendering now. That's good. And then we're going to do user input, and we're going to set this equal to an empty string. Make sure you use colon because we're creating an object here. Our next thing is to do a to-do list, and we're going to set that equal to an empty array. Next, delete the comment in the render method. So in here, we have the render method, which is right here, it's this guy. And so they're saying delete the comment within here. So I'm thinking it's the items variable. And in its place, map over the to-do list array stored in the component's internal state. Okay, so this dot state, why do we say this? Because it's this component, and then we say this dot state, this dot state dot, inside of the state we want to get the to-do list, dot to-do list, so we get the empty array. Dynamically render li for each item. Oh, okay, so to list inside the constructor. Next, delete the comment. In its place, map over the to-do list array. Okay, so this means what we want to do is map over it. So dot map, and then within the map function, we're going to do function, and we're going to pass it in like this, right? So this means we're going through each of the items in the to-do list and dynamically render a li element for each. So I think we're gonna return to the items do you go li, like, well, yeah, we could do string interpolation, right? Like, no, let's just do it simply. The string of li plus, we're going to say each element in the list, right? So element plus the element, and then we're going to add a closing li statement. And then, yeah, render an li to each item. So now we want to try eat, sleep, code, repeat. We'll just paste this in here and create a list. Okay, so that is not working. We do not need that li in there. Maybe we don't need to make this a string. You may know that all sibling elements created by mapping operations like this do need to be supplied with a unique key attribute. Don't worry, this is the topic of the next challenge. Oh, okay. Let's see here. Maybe we can do this in JSX instead of making it a string. Can we do it like that? Element, 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 element. Okay, cool. Well, we don't want it to say element, we want it to say each item. But you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're iterating through, we're just not formatting this right. So I'm going to try to make this in brackets so that it pulls on the parameter. Cool. If we run the test now, I bet they'll pass. So yeah. Some people might be saying, oh, let's do it like this because this is the same thing. It's just refactored, right? Now we've gone to ES6 to make it a little bit simpler. I wonder what else we could do here. I think everything else is pretty straightforward. But yeah, just to go over it one more time. Because the user input becomes eat, code, sleep, repeat, we're adding that to the to-do list when we handle submit. Handle change. This means that we're changing it so that the user input is equal to the value of this thing. So as we go through here, we're setting user input to be equal to whatever's in here. So when we say eat, code, sleep, and repeat, that does that. And then handle submit on the submit when we click the create list button, which is this one. You see how it says create list in the middle? It says create list in the middle, and then we do this dot handle submit. So the handle submit comes up here. This is the handle submit. We set items array is equal to this dot state dot user input dot split by the commas. So you'll notice if we don't add commas in here, we're not going to get the right answer. We're going to get just a single element. So it actually requires that we're separated by a comma. And then this dot state. So then we set the state, the to-do list, to the items array. The items array is equal to whatever we have in here dot split. And then once the state is updated and once we ran this, we've set the state to here, and then we cause a re-render of the component, and then the re-rendering of the component causes us to, when we throw in items goes through each of the items in the to-do list and renders them out on a separate list. Cool. Hope you guys enjoy this one. We'll see you in the next lesson.